Hey everybody, and welcome to another Planet Coaster livestream. We're starting just here by the Farley Flyers Helix. This will be a fun, different spot to start a stream for once. And yes, there's been some work since the last episode, mostly on the River Rapids. We can have a quick look at that now, which is pretty much, I'm working on the station. And you can kind of see how I'm planning on doing this. I'm basically going to hide most of the inner workings around the back here in like buildings and stuff, and pretty much cover up all of this. Maybe I can have a cool show scene or something to explain the stop, because yeah, the real station would be this right here. So we've got the turntable, you've got the exit. This is actually all going to be part of the queue line, as you can tell here by the path. Welcome to the stream. Hope you enjoy. Just going over the start of the River Rapids station. So you'll have this bridge that kind of comes through into this building. I've just put these little beams here to explain, you know, kind of there's like this building here that it goes underneath or something. So you've got to hide the Planco stuff. So you've got our entrance. We'll have the operator's cabin of Rumba Rapids is right in the middle of the turntable. Let me have a quick look. Where is it? It's one of the pictures online. Yeah, the Rumba Rapids boat control room is right in the middle of the turntable. Also, I will say I do not know that much about water rides and how they're all supposed to work. I know you need some water treatment stuff, but that's pretty much it. So yeah, I've also got the lifeguard points marked out. I think you need them, but if anybody who operates a Rapids ride knows otherwise, do let me know. So yeah, this would be like the entrance, so you'd board the boat from here, and this would be the exit. But because of how Planet Coaster works, it's all the queue path, and the exit basically comes out of here. So I think maybe we could explain that you'd go into this building where you'd have the ride photos or something, so I have to find a point for a camera. Maybe we can put it right here, you know. Where's my camera blueprint? Actually, we'll use the single one. There it is. Let's bring this over. Let's see, so we've got the lifeguard there. We can hide the camera by the rock here. I think that's a pretty good angle for the camera. No, it is quite visible though. Maybe we can find a better spot for it. If I can select, there we go. Let's see, where else could we try and have it? We could actually put it here, right next to the lifeguard point, and then it'll be much less visible. Just gotta make sure it's got a nice angle on the boat. Oh. Hang on. Yeah, I think that's fine. We'll place it there. And then I've just got to add a trigger. About, what, here I think? So we want to get the full boat. Play for 0.1 seconds. Hang on, let me just switch to night. Yeah, that works absolutely fine. I'm just going to check that the angle's good again. Alright. May have to angle it slightly further down. I think that's pretty good. Maybe we can move the trigger slightly earlier though. More maybe around there. I think that works better. Alright, so we have ourselves some photos. So yeah, we can just say that you buy a ride photo in this building and then you walk out back over the two bridges. Nice. Okay, but I think today we're not going to do any work on the rapids because yeah, I'm mostly focused on the station and a lot of it is really boring. So I thought what we could do is another building in our city area, and specifically the chip shop, or maybe the Lockers building. What I've been doing for these is basically finding places in central London that is inspiring this kind of thing. So for example, this building for the Farley Arms is based off of a building on Seven Dials, which is in Covent Garden. But let's have a look, maybe we can find some other nice buildings. Actually, what we could do, let's actually look for fish and chip shops in central London, if they exist. Yeah, of course they exist. Right, found one. And it's gone. Doesn't exist. Let's see. Looking at Leicester Square. Not really a place I want to be looking at for inspiration. Okay, this is the kind of street I want to look at. See any nice buildings? The only nice buildings here are the pubs. We've already built a pub. Maybe if we go down this way. Oh, these are some nice buildings. Very tall though, not really what I'm looking for. Let's see, what else have we got? This isn't really the kind of vibe I'm going for though. Let's go back to Seven Dials, maybe there's some more interesting buildings here. Not really. Actually, what might be a good spot? Yes, here we go. This is the kind of building I want to make. Annoyingly not quite what I'm looking for. Does it look like the ride photo booth, I've realised I've been doing absolutely nothing on the actual stream. I've been looking at Google Maps. No, this is Planet Coaster 1, there's no photo booth here, annoyingly. Yeah. Hey Miss Baba, welcome to the stream. We are doing nothing whilst I look for a building to copy. Let's see, St Martin's layout of this street. Yes, that's exactly what I'm going for. Now let's find a nice building. You know, whilst I look for a building, let's take the Farley Fly. We'll just at least have something going on. Alright. Enjoy that for a bit whilst I look for a building. Okay, I found myself a nice building. So let's... It's not part of the same thing. Oh, let's fix that. Right, so that's where we're going. I just want to see how much extra... Oh, okay, so there's actually quite a bit extra there. Interesting. Okay. So, this part is going to be part of the cinema. We can make that a separate building. We're just focused on this. I've got the right angle on this building now. Alright, so... Well, actually, hang on a second. This one has a large glass front, whereas here we just have ourselves a kiosk. I think though we should move the kiosk one over. It makes a lot more sense. I love how I literally just call the building a chippy. Oh, lag spike. That's not good. Let's put another bench. Oh, I can put it there. Nice. Okay, we'll do that, and then we can have a nice sign on this side. This sign is going to be there, whatever. So actually, I'll delete it for now. Let's see. So first of all, I think I've got to figure out the right colour for this. I think I might have to find a different building because this is not the right kind of thing I'm trying to build. That's frustrating. Right, let's resume the search for a nice building to copy. This street might be a good one. Maybe. Oh yes, this is definitely some good inspiration. Let's have a look. Now I want to find something else. None of these kind of work what I'm looking at. Right, let's try and find something else. Right, I've had a much better source of inspiration. Just got to find out the right photo of it. Let's see. It's not bad. This one looks alright. Okay, got a nice bit of inspiration here. So let's start off with some of these. I think the gold accents will actually work on this. Let's just make sure this is in the right spot. Basically that. Okay, and let's see, I basically want to put another one there. then the last one in the corner, like so. I've lost my placeholder wall. There it is. I actually may as well delete all the walls now. I never realised this was sunk below the ground ever so slightly. Alright, now this has to be connected to something up the top. And I think what I'm going to use some basic shapes. Like so, coloured in white. That's not going to need one. Actually, I only need this one. So that has to go around there. Let me find the flat ones. Are these the exact same height? I think they are. Yeah, this I think is then, yeah, okay. I think the real question is this too much? Is it too big? Should I make it smaller? So as to see this properly. Are they not the same height? They're not, okay. So we'll just use some circles instead. Probably be easier. Alright. And then we just keep copying this along. I think my control key might be dying. It's not the first time it's just stopped working. I've had to undo everything. Yep, I think that looks nice. Now I've got to figure out what I'm doing for a wall. And interestingly, all this stops here as well, so maybe... Can I actually extend this? No, do these not overlap at all? No, okay, they overlap at the end. These also don't overlap, so I've got to copy them. Which we can do like so. And then I think that's all fine. Yeah. Okay, that's that sorted. Okay, back to this building. I want to put just the word chips. Okay, yes, that's way too big, yeah. But also I'm a little bit playful. Actually, what we should have, or actually, what we could do, Let me just get the sign in. There we go. Now I wonder if I made this kind of a red box, because that's what these are in. And then out of the top of this we could have like fake chips or something, using some beams. Where's the 2 meter? Some different sizes. Just gotta make sure it's not clipping through the bottom there. Like that. Definitely needs a little bit more work though. Right, let's put another one of these on this side. Just need more chips really. There we go. Well, I think when they announced the second game, I was like, yeah, when they announced Planet Coaster 2, I think within a week I managed to finish these 2 areas. I kind of started building at a pretty crazy rate. And I thought, okay, yeah, I might be able to finish this park, which was a bit of a silly idea. But no, I kind of want to wait a bit for Planet Coaster 2 to get some more themed pieces. Right, let's quickly fill this in. Also, I mean, I've never finished a mega park in Plan Co 1 before. I started like 100 of them. Still got to figure out what wall we're going to go for. Yeah, I do. They should add some more cars. I actually think I filled the car park. No, I probably won't. It's going to be so many pieces. Right, what kind of wall style should we go for with this? I think it needs to be different from these ones. Maybe we could have like a more modern building. I guess the one problem with modern is it's got to be more kind of concrete and glass. So what I will do though is I want, how far can I bring that out? About there. If I kind of want to do something like this, doesn't look great, does it? I don't know. What else have we got? No, not really the kind of thing I want to do. I think it would be too much to have a modern building. This has to be more like a old one with a few modern additions, like this kind of white bit wrapping around there with the sign on it. Okay, so what kind of brick do I have in TMTK? Ah, that's just that. And that wouldn't work either. I don't think it has to be some sort of brick wall. This is the city brick wall. I don't think that would work. There is the classic brick, but I have used it here, so I want to try use something else. We've got a modern brick wall. That might work if we make it a bit darker. Don't think it's saved the colours, no. I think it's just too similar to this colour. We need to have, maybe instead of red bricks we have kind of more beige ones. Does that exist? If we go back to this, what kind of brick colours can you do? We could have black bricks, that might work. Helps it look a lot more modern as well. What's this option? Oh no, that does look very nice. That looks kind of cool. Almost like they kind of painted up the wall to match the more modern aesthetic of it. Right, now I've just got to do all the detailing. So once again we'll get our basic shapes out. We'll go back to the red, I think. We'll do a proper countertop. If we kind of extend this out a bit, that looks much nicer. We'll bring it across to the other side as well. So let's grab these three. there. Right. That looks nice. Now, I guess the question is, would it look not cooler to have the chips above the sign? Or should we try and put it... I think that would be too silly. I think it works better above the sign. What kind of signs have we got for... I don't even know how to spell the name of the shop. What kind of signs have we got? That looks ridiculous. There's a standing sign. Another standing sign. The swing sign is definitely going like right there. Those are my favourite pieces in the game. I put them outside like every shop. How about in the building tab? This one is the one we're going to use. That's just a regular wall sign. Another wall sign. There's a neon one. That could look pretty cool. If it's done at the exact right depth where you can get just the neon lights. We're definitely going to put the awning in. I think what we'll do is we'll have it there. Nice. Yeah, this is a really cool piece. Just wish it was a bit bigger, the neon part. I forgot to get this exactly right. There we go. You know what? Let's do like a little photo op next to the shop. So you can always take a selfie with the sign in the background. I think that'd be kind of cool. And then actually, what I might do is remove this, and we'll just put a door in. Just bring that over here for a sec. We'll whack a door in, just a very simple door, and that can be kind of the staff access into here. Also, that's going to look really cool at night. Maybe we should have the photo op run on this side actually. I think that would work much better. Just if I just delete that. Grab these so that I don't have to try and place it again. Then I can delete the one there. We'll just put a couple of benches here. We'll just figure out which door I want to use. This is the one I usually go for. Let's make ourselves a door frame. Figure out how many of these I'm going to need. There's a slight gap there. And there's no gap there. In fact, I'll move it up a little bit to ensure there's no gaps. Nice. Having everything highlighted with the red I think really works. Also, this doesn't feel like it's centered. Though technically that there would be right in the middle. Just be like that. I think that is now centered on that. Alright, let's just grab first of all, this door needs to move a little bit, it's too close to the side. Needs to be like there. Let's see, safety, no entry, sign needs to go just next to it. Or actually, let's put it on the other side, so it's nice and out of the way. Then we can have ourselves a bin, which I'll just grab from there. Or I could just... What's happened to the path here? I thought there was a lot more path here. Alright. Guess we'll just have to deal with that. What other things should it have? Oh, it needs to have something at the bottom. Let's find a nice trim. If we turn this over, nice, that looks good. Now we're gonna have a bit of a problem. Maybe not. This trim does have an edge. Right, let's just delete that one. Move that to be like so. Spin it around. And then do that. Very nice. I think it needs something else at the top there. Maybe there's like a thinner version of that. Love how in the name it says that's a thin trim, but it really is not. This might work. That's going to have to be like all the way back there. And it's got that annoying line. It's just far too big. Maybe we can just use the same one again. And let's make this blend in with the rest of it. Cool. I think that looks pretty nice. At the same time, it also feels like this should be lower. Like, instead of being up there, it should be... Of course, I haven't selected all of it. Okay, now I've got the whole thing. Kind of feels like it should be... there. Then of course that would start clipping. If we just delete these for now. I then kind of brought this down like so. Does that look, which one looks better? Oh, it's a hard one. Should it be further down or not? Another lag spike. I think it has to be up there. The only other option is to bring it down so that it is just above that. Is this clipping through into here? Yes, of course it is. I could probably just remove that. I think that is the best of all of them. Then what we can actually do is we can select these pillars again. First of all, we need to move the original ones ever so slightly further down. Then we need to copy them again and have them like so, and I think that looks quite nice. I think that's the best version we've had. Hang on, let me see this bin. I want to try and move it out of the way. No, that's not really going to work, is it? It kind of has to be there. So I wanted to put a menu on the side, or we can just not have a bin. We could put the bin around by that lamppost. I mean, is there one nearby? There is this one just around the corner. Maybe you can just have it there. I feel like the area needs a lot of bins because of how many shops there are. Yeah, you just have one, that's fine. So I thought what we could do is we can find a menu. That's coffee, burgers. One of these menu pieces was chips. There's a pizza pen. Was there not a... No way there wasn't a... Ah. Oh wait, there you go. There is one. Haha. Give it a second. There we go. Okay, I think it's just downloading now. I have noticed there's some pretty bad lag or Z fighting with these, so I'm just going to ever so slightly move them. Yeah, that's fine, and then we'll do the same with this one. There we go. Right. Chalkboard menu. There we go. I wonder, can we fit the word menu above it there? That's the wrong back TMTK. Trusty small font. Maybe we can fit it. Yeah, we can just about fit it in there. Nice. Let's see, the middle was around there. Let's now center this. nice. I love the extras. Let me turn all of them on. Oh wait, hang on. Okay. I wish we could have them as like as a request. Oh well. Well, we'll just leave it at that. I think that's coming together fairly nicely. I like the neon sign. How does that look? Oh no, not these. How does that look at night? I guess you have all the lights kind of bouncing off which else, but the neon sign looks nice. Apart from that, you have all the light coming off, especially the cinema. That works fine. So that's the base of the build done. Now we've got to figure out what we're doing up here. And that is going to be easier said than done. I feel like just something like this, just more windows and stuff. So try and find a nice wall, I guess. I don't kind of know where this is going. Yeah, so I only really want the bottom to be nice and modern. I think above we want something a bit more classic. Yeah, we could do the we could have a very different build here. I mean, yeah, it looks awful, doesn't it? Painted wood planks. I don't think that works. That's annoying. It's just plain. It is, yeah. Ooh, this might work really nicely. Hang on. Obviously, we'll change the colour. That works very nicely. Just change the colour. We can have it slightly lighter, slightly darker. A few of them a bit lighter. That's my dark one. Make that a bit darker. That's really nice. I do want to kind of keep one of like the corner one running up the wall. Maybe we can have it interact with whatever we put on the top. I think we'll change the golden accents to a light brown. Because that looks better. Yep. Let's just grab our sign. So I want it kind of coming out the side there. Wrong tab. I think it's this one that we're using. And I would have done it at 45 to make it stick out the wall, then you won't be able to read it from anywhere. So we're going like this. Nice. Is this lit up? I think it is. Oh yeah. That's lovely. You can see that from everywhere in the land. Ooh, I haven't quite put this at the right height. Okay, let's just sort that real quick. I'm gonna have to select. Oh no, it's not going to be those ones, it is the lower down one. And then these are all going to have to move up slightly as well. Right, that's that sorted. Just got to sort out this cylinder. Nice. That covers up that nice gap. What's going on there? That's really weird. It's like a square forming around it. Right. Let's try and get the top sorted. We could just have like something similar to what we have down here. Just another one. I think that'll actually work. Let's try that. Basic shapes. We'll make it much smaller though, I think. Just flip this around. Same thing around here. And I think what we'll do actually is we will, so I do quite like the poles. As we will use them to break up everything. Over here we'll do it a little bit smaller. I've got to duplicate this one. Then we use this to get it into the right spot, which is that. We'll do the other side. Nice. And delete that. And yeah, the same thing really. On this side. Copy one down. Line it up there. Grab all three. And use this one to get them into the right spot. Oh, I'm deleting the wrong one. There we go. And then we don't need the one down the middle. Oh, I didn't even realise I hadn't quite finished sorting this out. Let's do that now real quick. No, not that. That like so. Nice. And then what we'll also do is just center that one better. Lovely. I feel like this here should actually say pub instead of entrance. Yeah, that works better because people come out of this as well. It's not just an entrance. Alright. Let's change this. Oh, I haven't got the colours. Of course I haven't got the colours. Just put the colours on here now. And of course this doesn't save any of this. Pub. There we go. There we go. In fact, let me find the reference that I have for this building and see what it has there. So, oh no, that one does say entrance. Is there a different way you get out? Or is this a pub where you can only go in? No, it just says entrance. Okay, right, we'll change that. There we go. Okay, that was a bit of a pointless endeavour. Right, now I think we just got to figure out how we're going to do the windows and what we're kind of looking for on the top there. What we can do whilst I think about that is put some concrete in. Actually, what I do need to know is that the level we're going to put the roof at? I think it is. So in fact, that level works out quite nicely. So I can grab the entire roof and bring it in. So this is like, I'm just going to have to make sure it's lined up with this when I place it. I mean, hang on. Yeah, I mean, I guess we can place it as close as we can and then sort it out later. Right, let's find a nice window. I do want to have some ivy on here as well. Like some sort of climbing plant. Wall climbers. Or could we have roses? That might look nicer. We'll have to have some kind of basket for them. I don't think any of the other wall climbers know. Hang on. It's too big. It's not what I'm looking for. One of these looks a lot more modern than the rest of them. There we go, it's the plain one. And of course it's the wrong way around. So we do that, and then we have some ivy coming out of it. Kind of going this way. We can also have some ivy maybe. Did I say both of them were ivy? That's silly. Have something like that. I think the roses is too much. I think it should just be something like that. Hang on. Let's start this again. Something like that, like it all comes from someone having placed this little window box planter. We can have another one actually. So they kind of all got intertwined. And we can have another one on this side. Just kind of like there. But this one's actually had its ivy dealt with. Or we can just have it much lower. If we just have the smallest angle on that, I can only have a little bit of ivy there. Nice. Right, now I've just got to pick a window. Well, I forgot how little window options there actually are in this game. That's a nice window, but it feels too small. Some nice village ones, but again, they're just, that's too big. That's even bigger. That's not what we're looking for. Maybe some of these will work. So I've used this before, it's really nice over here. Kind of looking for something different. Not what I'm looking for at all, this all just castle stuff. These are massive. Or maybe some big windows is what we're looking for. Have the frame be nice and grey. Guess the question is, can I stack two of them? Not really. What is this? Whoa! That's an interesting TMTK piece. Didn't realise I had that. Let's try doing this in our... So if we start with one in the middle, in fact I can use, there we go. And let me just take all the ivy and properly sink it into the wall. How far back can I put this? About there. Oh, that's an easy way of making them better. Just double it. Okay, right, that's centered. I think annoyingly there isn't space to fit 3 of these. Maybe just. There should be more recess though. Anyway, let's get some nice window boxes up on these. I'm back. Building files cover. Yes, I finally found the building that I actually liked. So yeah, just put this on a couple. That's too low, it needs to be more like that. And we'll put one on here as well. Nice, and maybe we can put the small one on some of these. Maybe like just on one side or something. It's the wrong height. There we go. It's not really gonna. It's kind of in the hidden in the back there. Let's grab our window and just copy it around onto this side as well. I've got to put one by the ivy to figure out the. Oh no, that's fine. And maybe here we have 2 of the small ones forming one really, really big one. Like so. Nice. I'm going to say that's a finished building. Very happy with that. What's this? A wooden window. What kind of wooden doors have we got? Because we could replace one of these windows here in the middle with a balcony. Let's get the right colour. Just add a bit of variation to the building. Window decorations, metal window balcony. I think our balcony needs to be a bit bigger. Not that big. Not that big either. There's a vintage wooden one. That doesn't really work though. That's massive. I might have to do a custom balcony here. Or I can do my trick that I did in the on the Firefly entrance building. And take 3 of them, put them together. And put that. I was trying to think how much the door would have to swing open. There, I think. Oh, that's not right. Okay, let me put that there. And we just got to fix the underneath, which we can do with a bit of coloured concrete probably. Not a piece that big though. Okay, 2 pieces of coloured concrete. from underneath. That looks fine, just a bit of Z fighting. So let's sort that out. I think that's fine. And there's a little balcony. Very nice. What's happened up here? Must have placed that cylinder incorrectly. There we go. Okay, now I think we can call that building done. Another autosave. Just wait for that lag to stop. So I think I've just got the one left, apart from the cinema, but the cinema is going to be a very different style. So I've basically got one more I've got to figure out now. You can now stand here and see all the finished buildings. This area is starting to come together now. Where you just kind of just about block off the unfinished stuff. And you look at it from here. Absolutely love it. So the chippy is done. Only 153 pieces. Less than I was expecting to for that building. The Farley Arms, how many pieces is involved in this building? There you go, I'm surprising myself again. 189 pieces to make that. I think the flyer entrance building is the most part intensive building here. When you put it all together, you're like 263, and you've got to add all of the roof. This roof is one of my favourites. It's the castle roof flipped over with the trick. Yes, the view is coming along nicely. Can you imagine once I built the cinema and you can look from here and you see all of it together? I have noticed though this sign is too high. So I want to make sure that that big cinema sign is visible from right at the back of the land. So this is going to have to be like down there. So that when you walk in from here, you turn the corner and you see the word cinema written up there. Nice. And I think also the lighting is done. Yeah. Looks good. Whoa, what's happened to the what is going on with the clock? I guess really the only other thing we could do is have like a couple of neon stripes to go with the more modern look of the base floor here. But I think it would just take away from it at this point. I'm just going to properly center this, which is there. Nice. Could you do another? Tell you what I might do. I might actually no, I need them in for now. Might take these. Deselect all of that. I'll just put a balcony in there instead of the windows. Yes, I think that works. However, the ivy now doesn't look very good. So let me just grab the right one from here. And I thought these would be too far back. Got to slightly adjust those. That looks better. Cool. I think I've got all the trims around this here as well. Yes. So there'd probably be staff offices in here, and the doors would be just functional. But in reality, we have our restaurant stuff behind it. I'm not quite sure why I didn't just place this one down there. Keeps it all more self-contained. Yeah, again, like here. Why is all this just not there? Much easier. Keeps it all together. That one I'll leave though, because I don't know what I'm going to need for the sci-fi. Yeah. Okay. So now it was I had to take a photo from there, and I was doing pictures like this. Now I can do like so. That's exactly the feel I'm going for. Just all the shops all together. Nice. Right, so the street is there. We're almost closed. It just got the locker building, which is that one, and then the cinema. In fact, I will split those like so. So you know, someone has to remind me, is there an actual popcorn unit? Yes. Oh, it's a vintage one. You can still have it like just inside. Why do I need this giant piece of path to place it? I don't know. We'll see whether that gets into the finished part. This dark ride is going to be a whole thing to do, as is the other one. This one I've started though, at least. I've got to figure out if I'm changing the story or not, because this was an indoor coaster, and it used to go. That's why there's a giant mound here. Otherwise, I would flatten the mound and have it slope down here, and have all that be nice and self-contained. And then you can have the access road go around the outside, but I don't know, we can say it's a constraint, you know, they can't finish the maintenance road going in a circle, it's literally just the city land in the way. But I think we will leave it there. Done some nice progress. Let's see, there we go. Put our chips building front and centre. Have a look. But yeah, that said, I'll hopefully catch you in the next one. Please leave a like on the stream if you haven't already. That's it from me for today. Goodbye.